And we're live. So welcome everyone that's watching. If there's anyone watching, I don't know. And first of all, John, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm John from Lords Brewing Company, and tonight I'm drinking somebody else's beer because I haven't got any in the
Introduce
fridge.
yourself.
Oh no! I left it on at the other. There you go.
I'm the expert. I'm the amateur here.
No, that was a schoolboy error. I'm really sorry, Thomas. I'm not very professional. Who's the one ball on the right? Cheers, Scott. Thanks a lot. Hi, Simo. How you doing?
Okay. Tell us, when was Lords Brewing founded then?
When was it founded? So we started it in 2015, and so there was a little brewery called Golka Brewery just up the road from us, and my brother-in-law Ben had started home brewing, and after nearly killing us at Christmas with a few of his beers, his weird concoctions, we carried on, and he got quite good at it. So he was working at a library at the time, and we encouraged him to go get a job with a brewery. And we had I'd gone to Golka Brewery for like a brewery tour and a few beers, and I got to know the owner. And as it turned out, he was looking to train someone up. So Ben went and got a job there, and then John said to him, "Look, you need to start your own brewing company." And then he came to me, "What do you think?" And I said, "You should do it. Yeah, go for it." And it was never really something that I wanted to do, or my other brother-in-law, Tim. But we just encouraged him and said, "Yeah, you can go for it." And then I think it was, I can't remember what it was exactly, but we were all together, and he just said, "Look, I've been thinking about it, and I want to do it, but can you guys come in with me and
you're the business kind of part of it, and he's the brewing part."
Exactly. So that's what we did, and we started brewing at Golka Brewery. Now, John, who owns Golka Brewery, lives on site, and he's got 2 dogs. And every time you open the gate, the dog barks, and it drives. John will shout at you for winding the dogs up. And we got busier and busier. We bought some old casks from the Sportsman pub in Huddersfield. The Rat and Rat, no, not Sports. Yeah, it was the Sportsman, and we've got some from the Rat and Ratchet as well. And we started filling those casks, and then what happened was, he was like, "Look, you guys are just getting too big. You need your own space. You're driving me mental. I love you both, but you're a nightmare." So we were like, "Right, okay." So then we were looking. We had a barbecue, a family barbecue, and we were chatting. And I said, "Well, I don't think we can go any further unless we have our own place. We're at that maximum level." So then we all agreed, go out and have a look for a property. Now, Tim thought it would take me, I don't know, a year. It took about 2 weeks, and we found this place in the mill just up the road from where we live. And it hadn't been open for 2 years. The doors had never been opened on it. It used to be a woodworking shop, and the Virgin Atlantic bar was made in that workshop, and also I think it's Arsenal football grounds bar was also made in there, and then before that it was the spinning mule room of the mill, and then what happened was I said, "Look," I stood there with the landlord. I said, "Look, this is perfect. I'll have it." I said, "I've got no deposit. I want 6 months free rent because it's all going to need doing up. I'll put the toilets in, and you put the electric in." And he looked at me and he was like, "You got to be kidding." And I was like, "Well, I could leave it like it is and it'll sit here for another 2 years."
Yeah. And
he just laughed and he went, "Go on then." So then that was it. We cracked on then. Yeah, it was hilarious. We went to the, this is a good story. This is where it gets really funny. So we went to what do they call themselves now? It's like a a lending thing where it was set up by Cameron, and basically, government thing, and you could borrow money when the banks wouldn't let you.
Okay.
It's called a sulk loan. So I was like, right, okay, we'll borrow this sulk loan. So we borrowed 10 grand each and got 30 grand. Bought this kit from a local company. It was really good quality. Got it all in. Like, yeah, let's do this. Then we realised we didn't have the money to connect it up. We couldn't afford the hoses. We couldn't afford the board on all the electrics, all the 3-phase. We didn't have any coolers. There was so much stuff we didn't have. There was a massive oversight. So I was like, right. Oh, man, honestly, Thomas, talk about winging a prayer. So what we did is we moved all of our casks, our empties, up to the brewery and stacked them all up so they looked like they were full. And then we opened the tap room and we did it on a temporary license. And the tap room, the money from the tap room paid to have the brewery connected up. So we just didn't take any money from it. So me and Ben and Tim have done 3 years without taking a wage out of it. And then we got it to this point where it's like, it's growing, people are interested, but we needed to take it to the next level. And then we got an investor, and then we jumped a massive amount then.
And is temporary license or the taproom license hard to get in the UK? Because you can kind of get it now in Ireland, but couldn't before.
Yeah, they're fairly easy. They're not hard to get. We didn't have an alcohol license, so we just had to find someone that would allow us to do it. So we sorted that. Then I got my personal license. The biggest challenge was the actual mill room. So obviously it's an industrial unit, in a mill. So to then say, right, I want a license to turn it into a pub, is like, what? Why do you need that? So we applied to the council. Luckily, Tim's in property stuff and he knew what to do. But gosh, honestly, we were trying to get this license through, and so that we could permanently open. And the councillors come in a minibus, basically, and they come inside and they walk around. They don't really say a lot, and then they walk out. And then you go to the town hall, and then they either moan or agree or whatever. Anyway, we'd gained some traction on social media, and I don't know if I should tell this story, but what happened was it was really, really cold, and they didn't want to get out of the minibus. They'd already made their mind up that there was like no way, because it's got cobbles all the way down to the mill, all this stuff. They'd already made their mind up. It was too cold. They didn't want to get out of the minibus. So the guy said, look, they don't really want to come in and have a look. And I said, okay, well, that's fine. Tell them if they don't come out, I'm going to post it on social media and I'm going to ring the Examiner straight away, which is a local rag here. Not a very good one. Well, actually, no, it's all right. So anyway, that's what happened. He went and he said, you can't threaten them. I said, I'm not flipping threatening them. I'm telling them, get out that damn minibus and come and have a look. So anyway, they came in, they had a look. They were like, oh, this is really cool. Off they went. And then we went to the council meeting. And it was, on the whole, all right.
Yeah.
Apart from
what you wanted to turn the place into use, like get rates or whatever. I'm sure you pay the council money. It's better used and left empty.
Well, this is it. This is what we told them. But they just didn't get it. I mean, they just didn't get it. They had no idea of what we were trying to do. But they gave us a year's temporary license. And then after a year, if there was no complaints and everything went well, then we could do what we wanted then. So that's what happened. And then we got our full change of use then. And then we got our proper alcohol license. And just on the off chance, I got an off license as well, which has saved our bacon in lockdown. Yeah. Because otherwise we'd have been stuffed.
So you can't sell if you only have a bar license?
Yeah, you can't. No. Right. Well, what you'd have to do, the only other way of doing it is you set up an online business call it something else, like, I don't know, Thomas's beer company.
Yeah.
And then what you'd have to do is sell to Thomas's beer company, and then Thomas's beer company
Right.
will put it on the internet. You don't need a license to sell alcohol on the internet, as I understand it.
I thought you would. I thought you'd have to be an off license again, and I'm not sure. So did you go traditional first, or did you go kind of craft? What way was the beer?
So what we'd see, yeah, it's a good question actually, because what we'd seen was the other breweries that were around us. We had Magic Rock, we had Mallingtons, we had Nook, we had Small World, and there had been a couple that had gone before us that had gone bust. And we looked at the ones that went bankrupt more than the ones that did well. And the thing that we'd spotted was they tried to be Magic Rock. And so that makes it very, very, it's a very hard market when you're super craft.
Yeah.
So what happens is you fall into a cycle of doing lots of new beers, and you're new, so you're not that great at it yet. And so you fall into a trap, and then before long you've got no money. So what happened was, instead of trying to copy those guys and be something that we weren't, we were like, well, our roots were in traditional beer. We've been taught how to make traditional beer. We'll make traditional beer, and we'll put a little modern twist on it. So that's what we did. And that's where we started, was in super traditional beer.
And is it hard to get into the pubs in the UK? Are most of them owned by bar or like the small regional breweries, or are they independent? Or
Well, there's quite a lot of independence, but the problem is, it's really hard to convince someone when you've got a new brewery to buy beer off you, because they're like, who the heck are you? I've never seen you before. You've just popped up, and there's virtually no ratings on your beer. No one knows you. And it was really hard at first to find people. The funny bit is, we couldn't sell hardly any beer in Huddersfield. Just couldn't sell it. No one wanted it. Didn't matter.
Would it be going to Leeds then? I think Leeds. All I heard about is Leeds is a place for beer, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. So what we did, that's exactly what we did. So we were like, well, okay, they don't want us in our own town. And to be honest, we had a lot. There's not that many that were independent in Huddersfield, and also they were spoiled for choice. There's some really good breweries. So why risk? If you've got, I know I'm going to buy Magic Rock or Mallingtons, and I know it'll sell, then why risk it with a new brewery that you've never heard of? So what happened was, we started to go further afield. Leeds, we did all right in Leeds. Weirdly, Whitby. So Whitby takes more beer from us than anywhere else. Honestly, Whitby Bay, we sold loads of beer there. Scarborough and up into the northeast is kind of our sort of stomping ground. And then as time has gone on, we then sort of gained some of the pub companies. Then the pub co's like Stonegate. We tried Wetherspoons. Never again.
Are they just not all about the lowest possible cost?
Yeah, well, they have a really, and I've got to say, this is a disclaimer, really. This is my own personal view, and that not of the company. This is based not on fact and is of my own opinion. But I think what they try and do is get you hooked on turnover. So the first few beers that you supply to them, you get a good price for, and then as time goes on, they won't give you the money for the next ones. And so what happens is you feel like, I don't want to supply you anymore. And then you lose a massive chunk of your turnover. And as soon as I felt like I had a gun to my head when I was doing Wetherspoons. And they're nice enough people there. Staff are great and everything. But I just called it a day. I was like, right, that's it, no more now. So we stopped, and then we took Stonegate on instead. And that was really good, actually, for us.
Yeah. So What's your USP then?
Our USP?
No, USP. Unique selling point.
Yeah, my USP. Our unique selling point is, well, a couple of things. One, we're a traditional brewery and beer that has a modern twist on it. So we do like old school. I'd be a liar if I said I didn't like some of the old school. I love a best bitter. I mean, you can't go wrong with a best bitter. I love a good porter, and I don't mind a British blonde. But some of ours, they have a little bit, like we do a bitter and it's got New World hops in it, and we're also doing some slightly more weird stuff as we've gone on. The other USP, I would say, is that we try and be as approachable as possible. So our interaction with our customer base, we try and make it as easy as possible.
Yeah, it's a big thing, kind of being personal. That people feel a part of the brewery.
Yeah, and it's not. We're not. Sorry, Thomas.
Yeah, you're part of the community and you're kind of local. That people feel that it's something good that you're giving back. Maybe.
Yeah, well, yeah, and also all these guys on YouTube, if anybody ever wants to talk to me, they can message me on Instagram or they can pick up the phone and ring me.
Yeah,
it's no problem, and I'll talk to you. We don't want to be, and I hope I never get to this, so you can hold me to this, Thomas. But I don't want to get to a position where we get so big that you can never talk to the directors within the company. That we're unattainable. I want it to be that we try and interact as much as possible, and by doing that, hopefully it has some positive input into people's lives.
Yeah, because that's how I message you on Instagram. I know I'm in other groups and you're talking, but that's how I messaged you on Instagram and you responded, and your number's on the website, so people can contact you. So what about the new trends about being kind of vegan friendly and environmental friendly? Is that important going forward, or?
Yeah, it's super important. So all of our beers that don't have lactose in are all suitable for vegans. We use vegan finings in them. We've stopped using dolphins in the brewing process. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It was a joke. Yeah. We do. We don't. Yeah, we're very careful with what we do in the brewing process. We try and save as much water as we can as well. We don't like wasting water. And
that's what the water rates, I'd say.
Yeah, but we don't pay that much for our water. It's not really expensive. So it's kind of like, it's not a massive thing, even if you're super frugal. It's, it's just wasteful, isn't it? And then we're doing all sorts of stuff. We're doing one-way casks that are reusable, making sure stuff's recyclable if we use it. We try and make sure loads are always full, so we'll consolidate stuff so the van's not just driving around endlessly for no reason. We try our best, and then even stuff like, I think there's a hard line to draw, because you can go down the full vegan route and be super eco-friendly, and that's great, but then there is a sort of element of the local economy and supporting local people. Yeah. So, for instance, we can get rid of all our grain and we can actually put it into like a machine that will squeeze all the water out of it and make it into stuff that can be burned or used for other things. But our local farmer really wants the grain for his cows. Now, some people are like, oh, you can't give grain to cows because, cows are bad for the environment and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? It keeps people in jobs, and we're not we're not at that point where we can spend loads of money just trying to keep, super on the environmental thing, but we want to support local economy as well. So, and it, giving the grain's not an easy thing because we have to do all the paperwork for it because we're putting stuff back in the food chain.
Yeah. Do you have to prove they're vegan friendly, or is there some compliance or?
So we're accredited by CEBA, so we've gone through something called an FSQ. So you have to do all your critical control points. You have to measure everything. You have to make sure everything that you put in that beer is listed, batch numbers, the whole works. So, we can't get away with not. If we said it was vegan and it wasn't, we'd have it handed to us.
Yeah, I'm just wondering between, say, if you lose lactose in one, is there a more stricter wash if you use it for the next beer, or is it?
Every beer, every wash is super critical. So we spend more time cleaning than we do brewing. So brewing is like that much, and cleaning is like that much. Yeah. So there's absolutely no way anything can stay in the system. It's just like absolutely no way, because if you did that, then you start getting bacteria infections and all sorts of stuff. It's just we're probably a bit over the top on making sure everything's good. But the lads get in, they scrub them down inside. We've got fancy CIP kit, and we're super careful. So yeah.
I suppose moving on then to how have the rules. I know they changed the limits for the exclusion of tax for the smaller breweries. How is that affecting you, or will it affect you?
At the moment, nothing. It's what will happen. Is it 2023 they're meant to be changing it?
I'm not sure about the UK now. I know, I think you talked about before that they're changing the bans for the smaller ones to suit the bigger or medium people, I think, is it?
Yeah, so basically it's to help the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Well, I mean, I can see it. It's difficult because there's so many different elements to this. If I was a big regional that had been around a long time, for instance, Harvey's Brewery in Lewis. So Harvey's Brewery, I grew up near it. That brewery's been there for donkey's years. So it's been brewing beer. It's got a large market share, and all they've kind of really had to fight against is probably the bigger, like your Heineken and all those boys. So then along comes craft beer as a trend, and all of a sudden all these small breweries come along, and actually they get 50% tax relief, and they start chewing up your market share. So from their point of view, they're like, that's so unfair. Why should they get 50% of tax and I don't? So I see it from their side. And then on the flip side, it's just this one thing we didn't realize. We didn't realize how deep pockets you need. I mean, it is all volume and lots of equipment. It's just a constant spend.
Yeah. Constant reinvestment back into equipment, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, non-stop. It's just money.
I'm sorry, I know there's comments there, but I'll get to them sometime tomorrow or whatever. I suppose then plans do you have plans? What do you have planned out for the next 5 years, year, especially after COVID? Or is that unsure?
Well, that's a good question. You got some good questions here, Thomas. I got interviewed by somebody else. I won't say who they were, but they were fairly famous, and they didn't do as good a job as this. So it's interesting because normally we focus on data. So all the data that comes in, we look at the data. Right, what are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? We are a little bit slow to react to trends, I've got to say. If there's a new trend like NEPAs, we never even bothered. We're like, nah, we're not doing that. And now Nipas are kind of on their way out, I think, personally. Basically, we decided what plan we were going to take, and we were looking like after the investment, we would have hit break even in February, March time, and we were just behind a little bit, so we would have got it easily in June, and then we would have been in profit, which was very, very quick from the point of investment. But then COVID came along, screwed us all over, and now there's kind of no data to go off what's going to happen. It's any man's game. The only thing I can sort of think that might mean it's going to be really good is looking at what other people are doing. So there's a hedge fund in America. They put $2 billion to one side to buy British pubs because of the bounce back that they think will come from the pubs opening again. So we are now in the process. I called a board meeting yesterday. We collated all the everybody's comments for the business plan from the company, and the business plan will be together in the next 3 months, hopefully for getting us out of this, and then for the next 5 years.
Yeah, that's pretty okay then. And how do you think the market will go? Do you think many breweries or pubs will go to the wall, or?
I think there'll be a load that don't reopen. My concern is that there's going to be a lot that there might. It's like anything in any trade. There's good ones and there's bad ones. I can see some people opening bars or pubs and basically getting as much beer in as they can on credit, making as much cash as they can, and then folding. And also, I see other ones that are probably debted up to the eyeballs, and then it'll be fine at first, but then once that initial rush is gone and it starts to slow down again, they'll start going bump, because you've got to pay back debt. Ultimately, it adds an overhead to your business. So it could be that, but also looking at the way Rishi did his budget yesterday, they're throwing a lot of money at a lot of stuff. So I think there could be a potential that they'll stimulate the hospitality sector to get it back on its feet, and it could be like the blooming roaring. Was it the roaring 40s or the roaring 20s or whatever, when it all went mental, and just business boomed? I think that's the only way we can get through it, is to grow. It's just I don't really see, and you can hold me to this one as well, Thomas. I don't see a massive, huge downturn or anything like that. I just, they can't afford for that to happen. So it'll just be, they'll be giving money hand over fist to get us, everybody spending, and once everyone's spending and we're all happy and business is booming, then the economy will recover quite quickly.
So you don't think there'll be a rise in interest rates or some effect that way, or?
Well, it's got to go up at some point, but I don't think they're in a rush for it to go up straight away. I think they will go up, but I think it'll be a gradual thing.
Yeah. I suppose then, I'm running out of questions out of this. That's not a good point after 20 minutes.
Hey, you've done good. You've done good.
I suppose, moving on then, would you have plans to open a pub or bar of your own to have a permanent distribution, like in Leeds or in some of the major, I know in Manchester as well? Is that a part of it?
Well, yeah, it is really, but it's how we do that. So we'd like to move from where we are, because we could do something with a bit better access, but also operating the tap room where we are is really, really difficult because of our production. So yeah, I think the long-term plan will be to maybe build somewhere or buy somewhere that we can build a new brewery and a permanent tap room with offices. And I would really, really like a media studio. That would be really handy.
If your listeners are talking or listening, yeah.
Oh, it'd be amazing. I mean, I'm like totally up for that. Somewhere we can record podcasts and have guests in and all that. And somewhere where you can have it open in the day and do coffee and, fruit shots and, all that kind of stuff. And also get some. I'd really like somewhere where street food traders do the food as well, so other people can make money, and that there's keeps it interesting. That's what I'd like, and that's kind of the plan. And then we would like an outlet, and if something came up really good in Huddersfield, then we would do it. But I just don't have much faith in Kirklees Council at all. They're just, we'll not get into it. But then, Leeds, Manchester, definitely. It's just all down to cost and what's available and putting figures to it. And also finding someone to run each of those venues is a challenge because I don't want to manage them. I've got other stuff to do.
Well, I think if you picture who you had on last week, Emma. It was Emma.
Emma would be great.
She could sell anything, I bet you, to anyone. Just amazing, I think. I thought she was anyhow last week. Just her personality and everything. If you were, not that she'd probably go from her own business or her own, I know she's part of it, but yeah, that's one person if you...
It's crossed our line. You never know. You never know what the future might hold. She's that kind of person is who we'd want. She does a great job of Jim's Bottle Shop. I mean, that shop is well run, and the people love her. It's fantastic. We love her, and a lot of the other breweries. Well, if I talk to another brewery, I'll speak to Emma. Oh yeah, Emma's ace. Yeah. Everybody knows her, and they all like her. And she can be tough when she wants to be. So it's she certainly would be spot on. We've also got a good guy who runs Zephyr in town, a bar called Zephyr, which is a beautiful looking bar. Lee, and he would be another person that we'd quite like to do some work with. But yeah. What's that, Thomas? Never put the link in the chat. Have you put the link? What?
Yeah, I put the link. I'm too lazy to share that properly.
Yeah, you're gonna have all sorts of people trying to join now.
Sure. It's all good people watching here. All the 10, all amazing people.
Yeah, Shark will try and jump on, or Simone.
Yeah, that's sure. They're all welcome. What's that? Actually, I like trolls. Trolls are amazing as well. They can all join. I suppose going forward, then I suppose I've asked what downfalls next year? What do you think is going to go wrong?
What next year? What's going to go wrong?
This year.
Oh, this year, flipping it. What could go wrong? Flipping loads of stuff. Everything's got the potential to go wrong. I think if the media spin enough crap and negativity, people could lose confidence in spending, and if they lose confidence in spending, then that could be a really big problem. But I don't think so. The other thing I could see going wrong is some random new variant comes out, and then we're in a lockdown for even longer, and the pub's getting put back because there's only so much time before they'll completely be out of money. So, yeah. Other problems that could go wrong. Well, they need to sort out the whole import-export stuff at the moment. That's a bit of a it's a bit of a mess, isn't it? Let's face it. So yeah, it's a bit annoying. Square Table Degenerates podcast. How you doing? What's that at Steve's Brewing Channel? Being on cam is fun, man. I love it. I secretly want to retire and just do YouTube all day. I can't admit, I really enjoy it, but it's flipping unrelenting.
How do I do this?
Hey, look who it is!
Is that Scott? I don't know who that is.
It's all right, Scott. I've got a spare beard for you here. Where's he gone? Has he got it? I hope he's got a spare beard.
You're gonna have no, have I, Al? Look at it. It's like a shaved womble. Horrendous.
You'd never know.
We need to have a beard race, John, on who's going to grow back quickest.
Definitely Scott, I think, is it?
Scott's got more grey, so you can't.
All right, mate. I'm 6 years older than you. I'd expect to have more bloody grey.
I couldn't resist that.
Hang on. Oh shit! Let me just turn it all round. I've got about 10 minutes to kill. So
how much dosh have you raised now?
The boss would be able to tell you to the penny. I think it's about it's just under 5,200.
Well done.
So yeah, we can't. Thank you seems like a really stupid word and a really little word, but genuinely to anybody that's, I know Thomas has donated, I know you've donated, and any people in the chat, anybody that made any small donation, big, large, massive, small, we appreciate every one of them, and we've been just a little bit blown away by how Saturday went. And really everything that sort of encompassed it. Really, it was fantastic.
You did a great job.
Yeah,
I know you didn't because my face is very cold.
Yeah, and you've got one eyebrow significantly,
and it still looks like I'm indicating to go right all the time. The stupid things you do. Anyway, Thomas, it's lovely to speak to you at long last. We've been friends for
2 years.
Yeah, probably coming up for 2 years now, and just things evade me. I'm horrendous, absolutely horrendous at sorting things out. How I put a live stream together for 12 hours is incredible.
Oh, it's brilliant. It was perfect last Saturday. I thought it was amazing how you did it. Like, it was just something happening the whole time.
Yeah, we were really lucky that I say it was me and Wanda. We sat and we it said to give. I set it up, and it said I think I said on the live stream. I kept looking at YouTube videos, and it said to give yourself a month, and I gave us under 2 weeks, and somehow it all came together and was not quite flawless. Because there were things. Because obviously that bloody video wouldn't play until my good man in the middle here managed to sort that out for me when he came on Leah's video.
I got myself kicked in the process though. My StreamYard. I was like,
It's right, yeah, kicked you off. Thanks for playing that, mate. Off your trot.
Have you seen Paul's comment? Flip's sake, who let her on?
Blocking.
Oh gosh, honestly, the beer world's savage.
It's not that. I got up the next morning and I looked in the mirror. I was like, "Who the hell's that? Who is it?" And you had like the world's worst strongman in the middle
with my tag. Oh man! I have had nothing but abuse from that point to Monday. It stopped.
Wow.
People were sending me stuff, It was funny. I got to admit, it was funny, but they were just non-stop. They were
It was the thumb with the print on. That would just crack me up. Absolutely crack me up.
I know. My mate was like, "How you look at this? Is like not YouTube people. This is like a mate of mine who is nothing to do with YouTube. He just said to me, "Oh, how's your face without the beard?" So I showed him a picture. Oh no, I've lost it. And I sent him a picture, and then he drew on his thumb and sent it back. I was like,
it is fantastic. When this got to start working for you, John?
Well, we almost look like twins now.
So how long did it? So I see Steve Bruin said, "How long have I had the beard for?" I started growing my beard when I was being divorced, so 5 years. And I think I've got rid of it once with Wanda, very, very early on. And then I take it down to sort of manageable level every now and then. But it's been sort of semi out of control, really, for the best part of a year. Probably knew what was coming.
Oh, it's my phone ran out of memory today, so I deleted all my. I had 6.5 gig of WhatsApp nonsense.
Well, I'm the same because I mean I've got you and who's the other one? Wrong said Fred Paul in one group, and there's me, Chris the Butcher, and Dave, and the other Blue Van Man in the group that is basically just lunacy personified, and it's just nonsense day in day out. And I looked at it. I mean, I've got 256 gigabytes on my phone, and most of it's taken up with my WhatsApp.
Yeah, just loads of nonsense on mine.
We've just taken a look at that. I know we did a piss take one earlier, but we've just done a proper review of that cream egg stout.
Oh yeah, was it any good?
Yeah, I seen it. Yeah, I seen it pop up. Meant to watch it there.
It's all right. It's not. I was really disappointed with that midnight stack.
Now. It sounds good. I saw it and I thought,
I hope you get some maple from it because I never did.
Oh really? No. I couldn't smell of anything.
No, that's it. That's the one. It's got a nice coffee aroma to it, and it's just. I mean, the nitro didn't work for me, but it's what it is.
Nitro's a difficult one though to do.
Yeah.
Especially without the widget. I think with the widget you're fine because obviously you're generating the nitrogen, but where it's nitrogen infused, they don't always work.
I can't really smell the maple. It has got a sweetness to it. It's more caramel than specifically maple syrup, but there's a very strong sort of burnt dark grain smell.
Kev, it was all right. It was all right. It was. I was really. I know that it sold out in a minute. I mean, a minute. I mean, what sort of brewery? I mean, Goose Island produced the Bourbon County Stout, which is universally regarded as one of the best imperial stouts in the world, and they can't produce a decent release of a beer that people are going to jump over for Easter. It baffles me.
You must have them sold, let's say, pre-sold to shops or somewhere. I don't know.
I mean, I saw a couple people. I know Paul had it in his basket, and I think it sort of sold before. We actually stopped for the first. Not often we do this, but we started doing the review, and Wanda said to stop because I was having a real moan about them, saying, "Look, if you've put something in your basket." Then you're saying you want that, so it should give you a time limit to be able to go for that, especially if it's a limited release purchase. There should be a time limit, so if it's in your basket, you've got, I don't know, a minute and a half to check out. But for them to sell something while it's in your basket is disgraceful in my eyes.
It might not be something that they can control, though. That's the problem.
No, it's true.
But I think I don't know. It's a bit of a disaster from a brewery point of view, and I'll tell you the reason why. If it sold out, you didn't make enough.
No. Well, they've got another 500 coming on Monday, I think, or they're releasing. Whether they're doing it in staged releases, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's for me, it's an absolute PR catastrophe.
Yeah. But then again, everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
So
well,
has it worked?
He might be the world's cleverest PR. You know, you make something rare, everybody wants it, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. But it's not. It's okay. It's not. Wonder liked it. That's all that matters. One of us liked it. It's fine.
I don't actually mind.
Liked it. It's okay. Sure.
Yeah.
I don't actually mind this, and I am now getting the maple syrup.
See, I didn't get any maple out of it. I didn't mind the beer, the stout. As a stout, it's okay. I didn't get any maple out of it. I know Dean didn't either.
It's right at the end. I mean, it's got a sweetness all the way through it.
Yeah.
But like right at the end, once you've you put it down for a bit, and then you've got that. I can taste the maple syrup. I can taste there's like a woody flavour to it as well. Quite nice.
Yeah, it was mad.
It's a price point. It's a price point beer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you never know what they're gonna. Ah, right, okay. It's telling me how to pour it, and I did it all wrong.
You dump it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't dump it.
That's where the cascade comes from. But even with that beer, because it's infused, you don't always get that cascade effect from the infusion. Without the widget, I've never come across a stout that I've had without a widget that gives that proper cascade effect.
Well, the problem is
left hand do it good though.
Sorry.
Left hand do a good one. They don't have widgets, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But I think you have to kind of. I do it more like 90 degrees, but I think to get the cascade properly. But depends how you like it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, as I understand it, and I'm not a brewer, but I asked to do some of our beers with nitro, and no one wanted to do it. And the answer was that it's really, really hard, and the nitrogen doesn't want to cling to anything in the beer, so it just passes through the beer. So the masters of it are Guinness, really, aren't they? But it's not an easily done thing. So most canning plants won't do it for you. So we were like, because we wanted to do the Banneker Irish Porter, we wanted to do that with nitro.
It's like you got all these new Tesco beers. Are they out next week? Are they? I've got to be honest. Everything I've seen from that range, I've not been excited about. There was a couple today, I think, from. I think it was. I think they Buxton beers. They announced today. They looked all right, but the rest of it's been.
Oh, Dummo! Is it Dummo beers?
Dummo, yeah. I mean, he's the king of promotion, isn't he? On Instagram, really. I mean, he promotes everything. I mean, he could sell on the bloody sand to the Egyptians, couldn't he? That's sort of. It's just I don't know. There's been nothing in that range that really shouts at me.
No, I mean, to be honest, I should take more notice, but because I don't review other people's beer. I mean, that's to give you my opinion on it, but I'm not a reviewer. I'm just trying to promote what I do.
Are you looking to get into supermarkets, John?
We would like to, yeah, but we need to do Salsa accreditation, or we would have to. The only other way around it is, let's say we had a beer that we know is really good, we'd have to get it contract brewed, and then your margins are different anyway. So whether you can do it profitably, I don't know.
Some breweries make sort of like 3p a can on their stuff in supermarkets, don't they? I mean, the margins are absolutely horrendous.
Oh yeah, mental, yeah. But it's like I say, that can be enough to keep people in jobs. You know,
absolutely.
If you're stacking it high enough, and there is there is a distinct difference, I think, now. I don't know what you guys think, but I think there's a very big difference between supermarket beers and what you can buy from breweries and craft beer shops.
It's more. I think it's getting more pronounced as well.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what they also do is I've noticed this is, and I think it's quite clever, but it's quite sneaky. And I think you guys will probably, John will be very diplomatic about this, but I know Thomas won't be. The first range of a beer, or the first batch of a beer that goes into a supermarket, is not the same batch that you will buy about 6 weeks later.
No, because they cut the price from the brewery, I bet you.
Because I've had it with if you try the one that they say changed everything, the Brewdog and Cloudwater New England IPA, that is not the same beer as that went into the supermarket, went into Tesco's, I don't know, 18 months ago. It's completely different. So the recipes change, the brewing changes to cut the margin, to make more money. So the first time it goes into the supermarket, it's not the same afterwards. I'm a firm believer of that.
I don't know. I mean, it could be. The obvious thing that you see is they sell a lot of something and it does well, and then the bean counters have a look at it and they go, "Oh, how can we save?"
That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. So they change the recipe because they see it's making, or it's selling by the shitload. So that how can we make more money from this beer? What can we change to lessen our costs to make that margin higher?
Yeah, which it's. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, Aldi with Rheinbacher is a classic example of that.
Yeah,
they had a really good product, like really good, and then they've killed it. They've absolutely It's not even a thing now, is it, Rheinbacher?
No, I think it's gone. Or it was in this being phased out. I've seen Paul's video on it, and
did they brew it? Was that brewed in Germany?
I don't know. Thomas might know that.
Was it?
I think they're registered in Ireland for that beer, but I'm not sure. But all the beers, I think in Europe, are registered in Ireland for some reason.
I think I think they are registered in Ireland, the whole of it.
So it's tax, basically.
Can't say I blame them. It's about making money, you know. Okay, fair enough. That's what you're going to do, isn't it? I think some of the beers are.
Just having 5 minutes.
Okay.
I think. Oh no! Look who it is.
There's trouble. It's Peter Kay.
Right. If we've got a swear jar.
I never swear ever. I am.
You get them out it.
Yeah, we could add it to Scott's little swear jar.
We've got a technical issue with this. So obviously we've got the IOUs in there from the weekend. I can't get them out.
Oh no!
So I've guessed that I owe about £2.
Get a coat hanger.
First 2 minutes.
Get a coat hanger. Make it straight and put a hook on it.
Yeah.
I'll
get Wanda to do that and film it. She'll probably sort of kill herself and jab herself in the eye or something.
I haven't said to take a hammer to it.
No, can't take a hammer to it, Simo. It's from art. It's Wanda's special thing.
Just a glass jar and just gone. I tweeted Aldi in February about Rheinbacher, and they said it's part of our staple thing. It's staying, so I don't know what's going on there.
All right, okay. Well, maybe I'm wrong then.
But I went in today, and there's just loads of it. Nobody's interested in it now. It's just loads.
The trouble is they've changed it. I haven't had it since they changed it, and I don't expect to be having it anytime soon. To be fair,
I'm so mad now. I got a lot of them for free, so can't argue with that.
Free?
Yeah, I had a lot of beer tokens left from when I bought my granddad some beer kegs, so I cashed in his tokens and got a free beer.
Well,
He doesn't need to know, does he?
Well, technically, that's your granddad's beer, then, is it?
No, he don't like it. He says it's, in his words, it's foreign shit. So he won't drink it. But he'll drink the stuff on kegs. I don't know how that works. But
It is. What's the word? It is different in kegs and cask to what it is in a can and a bottle. And a can and a bottle is different.
Yeah,
honestly, it just night and day different. Night and day different.
But he loves that bloody beer machine. It's like it's been his lifeline through lockdown. But he won't drink bottles now. So
yeah.
What's going on? The better world.
I've got that. I opened it on the live stream. I opened up that staggeringly good chewy cherry thing, and I can't remember a thing about it. So I've got the other can in there. I'm going to do that the weekend because I genuinely can't remember a thing about the whole beer. So I'll have to have another look at it at some point.
I thought you said it wasn't a beer on the live stream.
I think it's an alcoholic fruit beer from memory, but I've got no memory of what the beer was like, if it was any good, what was in it. So, and that's not.
Well, I think that's what you said about it. I think you said it wasn't. I thought that's what you said. Maybe I'm not sure. I can't remember now.
No, it's not that I was hammered or anything. I just got sort of the day's a bit of a blur at parts where it was sort of molded into one. So I don't want to go back and because I'm going to do a highlights video at some point, but I don't want to go back and see that bit until I've done the review because I don't want to go back and sort of
ruin it,
influence myself again. So we might have a look at that the weekend. I think that chewy cherry.
I had to show the kids. Me having my beard shaved off, and they were in stitches.
It's one of the there were so many highlights on the day, but that probably half an hour, 35 minutes, or whatever it was, it is certainly up there. It was hilarious, and I have watched that bit back because I've done some editing on it. But it was really, really, really funny. Lydia's face, Wanda's face. I mean, Wanda was in tears.
Every time she looked at me, she just went to bits.
I've got a video of me going to where I'm lying in bed and Wanda's. Obviously, I've still got one eyebrow a different colour to the other. I had purple hair. I had all this dye on my face, and I got a video of one. I'm just lying on the bed with my face up in the air, and Wanda's got like baby wipes, just doing this all over my face as she's trying to clear my face off.
My gosh, you look like somebody. You know when you send your kids to fancy dress disco at school, you draw a beard on them. That is what you look like. It was brilliant.
Today's video, we Wanda had the eye patch on. That just cracked me up. As soon as I tuned in, I saw Scott stood there with one eyebrow. And Wanda's got an eye patch on. I thought, oh no. I thought, I'm done. This is already finished.
Yeah, because it was well. But I'm looking at her thinking, hell. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's only that she explained it as World Book Day. I'm like, okay.
I'm going to put my heater on because I'm freezing down here.
Yeah, I'm going to go because I'm going to take Wanda up the shot. I'm going to take her up the Astor. So,
up the what?
That sounded very wrong. That sounded incredibly wrong.
That's Dave's lie. He takes June up the Astor. We're going to take Wanda up the co-op. Because she needs to get some bits and pieces. So lovely to speak to you all.
Nice to see you, man.
You're a legend. CMO, you're okay. He's all right. I'll speak to you soon.
See
you, mate.
Thanks.
That's nice, isn't it? It comes on, insults two of you, and then leaves.
That's all right. I get insulted all the time. I used to.
That's it. Look, Thomas is like, it's my stream.
I can play around with it finally.
Sorry.
I'm the star here.
Fucking stink. You smelly bastard. Sorry, I'm not talking to you. There's a dog
That's
down there.
That's £4 there.
He fucking stinks.
That's fine.
He's just chilling. He's just... It's like that song that Paul plays, and it just sounds like that.
What dog is he?
He's a greyhound lurcher cross.
I used to have a greyhound.
But he's getting on now. He's about 11, so... It's an easy life. Take him out and then he just lies down all day and farts.
Yeah, that's the life of a greyhound. They are the most bone idle dog I think you could ever own. perfect for me. I was like, I don't like going for long walks. I remember, so she was called. Her racing name was Monriva, but we called her Daisy, and you put her, you'd be like, come on, let's go for a walk, and she'd be like all excited, put a jacket on and a lead, walk out the front door, and if it was raining, she'd just stop and just stop.
He does that. So if some days you just can't be arsed, he's like, no.
Yeah, and they just
Other
look
ones
at you.
like, and you've got little ones like, what do you mean no? He's like, I still want to go. And he'll just refused. Maybe we'll just sit down. He's like, no, I'm not going.
Yeah. I've had to carry her before because she's just like, I'm not walking anymore. So I had to carry her back to the car. And I thought I looked like a proper numpty carrying a big old greyhound. And then I've seen it since. I was like, oh, it's because it's a greyhound. I was like, will it not walk anymore? And they're like, no.
They're very stubborn. They just do what they want. If they don't want to do it, that's it. You're not changing the mind. There's no. It's like he was just lying on the floor, so I thought I better get a bed for him. He'd just come in and lie on the floor and look at me and just say, why am I lying on the floor? What are you doing? So there's now a bed in there. I just came to sit dogs. I'm sure they think I'm just here to serve them. This is going down far too quickly.
I know. I was like, I'm not having too much because tomorrow we've got our afternoon beer.
I've been trying to be good this week because last week I drank far too much to the stage where like people like, are you alright? I think you might have had a few too many beers this week. I was like, what are you on about? And then I sort of checked the recycling, like, oh yeah, okay, yep, that's fair.
That's always a sign.
Yeah, that's fair, yeah. I totally understand where you're coming from now.
Yeah.
I think my bin man was thinking I'm an alcoholic.
London.
Walk, lie down, fast. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You're on the money there. Thomas, what is your go-to style of beer? Go on in, Thomas. What's your go-to?
Stout or imperial stout.
Stout. Oh, you savage.
Oh, it has to be.
It's the Irish way.
Absolute savage. Depends what mood I'm in. Like sometimes I'm IPA, double IPA, triple. I've been enjoying a good lager recently. So just a plain and simple lager, sort of session beers and stuff. Sort of I've been getting into recently because, especially with them fucking idiots on a Saturday night. Sort of, it's like I've gone spice and easy, and then you get a message off. Fucking Gary messaged me. He's like, "What are you doing, Simon?" Lad? I was like, just went to bed. He's like, "Don't be a pussy, yeah." I was like, I went to bed. He's like, "Don't be such a pussy." I was like, for fuck's sake. And then you got TG going, "It's only fucking 11:30. It's like, yeah, exactly. Went to bed. No.
I'm part of the WhatsApp group. I see the best.
So it usually ends up being about 4:30 in the morning.
Oh gosh.
It's it's a good laugh. So you got so if you get Friday night, you got John's, then you got to bloody Simon for a bit, and then you got Mark, and then Saturday you've got Paul, and then you do Spice and Easy, and then Gary decides that we're going to carry on drinking till 4:30.
Wow. That's the whole of Sunday gone though at that point.
It's not so bad. I was up about 11:30 next day, so.
Wow.
Session beers, I slowed right down. I was on Alan's stream for a bit, so I slowed right down. And then Scott did his live, so I went on to the coffee for a bit because I thought I don't want to be ruined here.
Alan Mead, how we doing? I'm off to drink until tomorrow. Can't wait. I'm gonna go mad. Well, my wife has put me on. Lids has put me on a keto diet, and I'm not meant to. Basically,
that
you
sounds
can eat.
miserable.
Well, it's not because I can have bacon.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can have
That's so
I'll be
good.
special glass.
Look at that. That looks quite funky.
I've got this. I don't know. I kind of like the way I like holding the glass like that. I think there's something quite comforting, but I don't think that I quite like having a stem. I like having a longer glass as well. I don't know. Just depends on the mood that I'm in.
I've got a cupboard just full. There must be about 50 glasses in there. Just
To the question, I started reviewing the videos in the window, and I was so stupid out to come up with a name. Window beer
fair
name.
enough. That's
I never
fair
name.
I wasn't even bothered with the YouTube stuff, and then various people said, you should do it. And I thought, fuck it, why not? And then I was slightly inebriated one night. I thought, that sounds like a great idea, and just typed it in. I was like, fuck it, it's a thing now, so we'll just roll with it.
It's very funny. You are very entertaining. The swear. I mean, we have no other beer review that has so much swearing in it anywhere on the internet.
It's just common, I think, because I've worked in the scrapyard for 15, 16 years. It's so common, so if you don't even notice it. So, like, you walk in the morning, it's like, all right, dickhead. It's like, morning to you as well, I guess. At first, it was alien, and then it's just sort of second nature now. So if you're not getting insulted, then there's something not quite right. Also,
true. I worked in the motor trade, and there's not a lot I haven't heard. The level of abuse that you get is unbelievable.
You've not insulted me today. What's the matter with you? Have I
upset you? That's right. Yeah,
What's
wrong with it being nice? Like,
have I upset you?
Yeah, I worked at BMW Breakers for a while, selling the parts. I loved that job. That was my favorite, and that's still one of my favorite jobs I've ever had. Because I got to be around. I like BMWs. I wouldn't have the new ones, but I like the old school ones, and like keeping them going. And I had the old computer program, and I could cross-reference parts and see what. Because quite often they'll like use the same window switch or the same gearbox, and I just really enjoyed it. I just loved it. Proper great fun. And we used to. I worked with a guy called Ish, Ish, Indian guy. I'm still mates with him now, years after. And he used to get. He was like, because I'd been in Yorkshire a while, but I didn't really know like what a good Indian food was and what was a bad one. And he used to get like chicken curry, lamb handy, and they'd be like, "Oh man, the curries were just unbelievable." And we worked. I was a single man then. I'd work like 7 days a week. It was amazing.
I had a spice sneeze in my Madrasity. I think that was about my limit. I thought it was going to kill me off at one point.
Really?
I got about sort of halfway through. I was like, "This is quite warm." This was, but I powered through, and then it wasn't so bad afterwards. But halfway through, it just sort of hit me. But then it seemed to calm down a bit, so it was all right.
Thomas, have you managed to get a spice and easy curry?
I have, yeah. I haven't sent over a few. I think is it the volcano? Is it that one? I think that's the hottest one I've tried. Is it?
He does some insanely hot stuff. Like I got a medium curry and went, "That's hot." I was like, "No, it's not." I was like, "It's hot." I was like, that is warm. Like seriously spicy.
He doesn't think it is. They all mock me because I don't like it that mad spicy.
I think Spice and Easy's stuff is brilliant. I think.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. What were you saying before, John, about your friend and you working in BMW and that? A mate of mine went to Stafford Uni and ended up doing this thing for Hayabusa engines as his project course or whatever it is for your thing. And Chang'an, is it Chang'an or however you pronounce it, actually approached him and offered him a job halfway through uni. So he now works there. He seems quite happy, but I rarely hear from him now. He's sort of, I think he's in Brum now. So he moved from Preston to Nottingham and then from Nottingham to Brum, and now he sort of goes all over. But I've never seen a man drink like he does. Holy shit. We've had some... Holy shit. Seriously, like, we went to Aldi one night and he went, "I fancy a bottle of wine." And bought like 6 bottles of wine.
What?
Between two of us, we smashed them off. It was a great night. Not so great the next day. Felt a little bit iffy the next day, but we had a good night.
I've got a question for you, Simo. So if you worked in a scrappy then, so was it just a job or was it a family business?
It was originally family business. My granddad started it up. And it was a tiny little thing, and then my uncle bought it off him when he sort of called it a day, and then my uncle sold it out to somebody called Three Hills, and there were a bunch of knobheads, so I jacked it in. I said, "I'm sorry, this is not what I signed up for." I said, "I'm not." It's like weekly sort of assessments and stuff, and sort of just anything for nothing, cutting corners here and this. It's not safe to work here anymore. I said, "I'm sorry." I said, "Stuff's dropping to bits, and it's not safe for me to work here." I said, "No, I'm not getting shit for doing stuff slowly because I'm doing it safely," so I jacked it. So now I got a job with my mother's partner. Well, he sorted me out, and it's doing hot tubs and stuff and pools and shit. But
I could do with a hot tub. I've always wanted a hot tub. That's
a
like
bit
on my
sick.
list of things that I want.
There's one out there actually behind those doors.
One
They're
day,
not open, which is
one day you'll be doing a review and I'll be sneaking
Yeah.
into the hot tub. Can you imagine that on a live feed? Knocking on the window, being stood there naked in your hot tub.
That's a terrifying sight. That's a
That'd
terrifying
be
thought.
terrifying. You'd be like, what the hell is going on here?
But yeah, Scrapyard, it's always a good crack. We've had a good laugh, but it was time for me to call it a day. I was like, this is
A lot of money in scrap. A lot of money in scrap.
There's more money in waste now.
Yeah, there is.
My old man still works there. He does the commercial stuff and he goes round and does the buying and stuff. And he said scrap's not worth much now. He said it's the waste. He said it's plastic, cardboard, and that. He said he's worth so much money. It's ridiculous.
Cardboard has gone through the roof.
I suppose everybody needs cardboard.
Yeah. But I suppose there's so much parcels been delivered.
Yeah.
So, Simo, did you check out my keyboard? Sorry, I'm very proud of my keyboard.
Yeah, Orky, I said last night, they're good stuff, Orky. They're not, they're like for a budget, they're bang on. I've got
Not bad. So, anybody wanting a budget keyboard, look at that.
I've got a Razer one.
Razer. Razers are good.
Clickety clackety one. It does change colour, but I can't work out how to do it. I think there's some software that you do. I don't want to press a button because I'll break it.
This is like a
And
blooming.
I've got a glowy mouse as well to match.
I mean, that is totally unnecessary. I mean, why'd need it to do that? Why would you want that?
But I've also got a computer like yours, but the problem is that the clear side's on the opposite side. So if I turn the camera around, all you'll see is just a black glass panel. So
This computer, though, is made out of really old stuff. It's just old.
Yeah.
It's really old tech, but it's good old tech. Does that make sense? So it's cheap.
yeah.
But it does what you need it to do, really.
I spent my first paycheck on my new computer. I was like, yep, just take my money, and then sod's law, it all dropped in price once I'd ordered it. Which I was very upset about, but it's just one of them things, isn't it?
It's a lie.
And then I spent far too much money on beer in lockdown. Like, I got Mad Squirrel, No Heroes, Beer Brothers, and then tomorrow I've got something from Crankshaft coming. They text me like, what time are you in? I was like, well, I'll be out till sort of about 11 o'clock by the time I start that. All right. And they're going to drop it off. So, well, that's even better. I have to pick it up. I paid Wednesday, they'll drop it off Friday.
So, Thomas, question for you. What's your go-to breweries locally?
Well, O'Hara is the local brewery, so you probably see me drink that, or say I drink it. That is the only local brewery like what I call local. So you've only got about 100 odd breweries in Ireland. I think it's all together now.
How far would you class as local, John?
What's the class local like?
Yeah, sort of like 30 miles, something like that. Sort of.
Yeah, 30 miles is local. Anything within 30.
Yeah, okay, compare that to kilometers. That's no good. Sorry.
Hey Siri, what's 30 miles into kilometres?
30 miles is 48.28 kilometres.
It's 48.2 kilometres.
Yeah.
Well, they're like, I can include Rye River in that then. They're a really good brewery. They have a selection of beers in the Littles in Ireland called Rye River, and they're really good. For the value, because they're one. I don't get the Little too much. They're about 190 for 500 ml. And they have all different selections. So
when I went to Prague, of all places, drank loads of O'Hara's, went to an Irish bar, which is basically just like a Wetherspoons in the middle of Prague. And we got so drunk on. But they had like the whole selection, so it was great. It's like one of them. And then I'll finish off with a Pilsner Urquell at the end.
I want to go to Pilsner Urquell and actually have it in their bar. Oh, gosh, I bet that's an experience.
Prague's a wonderful city as well. Like, the people are so nice. It's ridiculous. Oh,
So his views on brews, is he in Ireland as well?
Yeah, he is. He's actually in one of the homebrew clubs and the Midlands Beer Club that I'm a part of. He also has a YouTube channel, so everyone go check him out.
You do a lot of homebrewing, don't you, Thomas?
I do some. I haven't done that much I need a fermenting fridge. The winters temperatures just go up too much.
Yeah.
I need to get a second-hand fridge or something to turn it into fermenting fridge to. It's just in the winters, just everything temperatures vary too much to even bother. What would you
It's
say?
something I've fancied trying, but I wouldn't even know where to start.
I'm sure the basic kits are out there, like, so you don't even have to go to all grain first, like even just fermenting bucket in a kit and give it a try.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of people that will show you how to do it, Simo, if you fancy giving it a punt.
I think it'd just be a good laugh. It's just something a bit different, isn't it? You know, it's sort of a.
I mean,
you've made your own, but yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the main things, if I could give anybody, I've not homebrewed. I've only ever done commercial. So my first ever brewing experience was on an 8-barrel system. So I don't know anything under that. But cleaning, just clean everything.
Yeah.
Sterilize. That's anything for home brewers. Just clean everything.
I guess the closest you can get to homebrewing without all the kit is probably the thing Scott's got. Is it the Pinter? Whatever it's called.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's similar to homebrewing.
Yeah, I'd still go to if you can get some of the fermenting buckets and the kits. I know it takes a bit longer, but
Thomas is looking going, no, it's not. No,
well, you see now, Scott.
Yeah.
I haven't tried any of them, but like you're paying nearly €100.
Yeah.
You can't change them. Like if you get some of the kits, like I tried kits, you get a certain taste off them, and you can't change it. So, to move to all grain, but like there is a difference.
Stay at this.
Do you have Wilkinson shops in Ireland?
It's even worse.
Not that I think of any. I can't.
That's better.
So, you know, Simo, you'll have Wilco's, won't you?
Yeah, there's one in town somewhere.
Yeah, they do brewing kits. They do loads of stuff. Yeah, they do loads of stuff. Like from a starting point, they've got pretty much everything you need in.
I might have to have a mooch in at some point. Call it a necessary trip into town. An essential journey, isn't that what it's going to be, isn't it?
I want to know what you're going to call it. What you're going to call your first beer?
I don't know. Simo shitty, bro.
I knew it. Yeah. He had to have a swear word.
Hang on.
Yeah. Oh dear. Look at Simo's chair. That's the work of art, that thing.
Yeah. That's fancy now.
What's that shit?
I've got
your swear word.
Don't.
He's swearing and he's only talking to himself. I've got a nice chair, but this thing kills my back. Hello, Roy.
There was one like buried in there. I knew it was somewhere, but I had a feeling it was going to like make everything else fall out.
Brendan, do you want to join? Link is in the comments up there somewhere.
5 years later, most expensive hobby. Yeah. I don't know. I thought gaming would be a fairly cheap hobby till I spent $2.5 on a computer.
See, right, if you're going to spend $2.5, just get yourself a 50-litre pilot kit, $2.5. You can buy the full Monty for that. It's a good starting point. If you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly.
I think that might be a little bit too much because if you cock it up, that's a lot of beer that's gone tits up, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not costing you out because you're not paying any duty on it. It's not like me where
I will put it in my Lords flask, but I smashed it. Looks alright, that, doesn't it?
it's a weird colour in it. It's got like a pinkiness to it.
It's got a very pungent aroma to it, but it's nice. I think I had it one night after drinking about 6 lagers and went, wow, that is the best thing I've ever tasted in my entire life. And then I tried it the next day and went, doesn't taste so good with the hangover. Yeah. When you're hanging out your ass, it doesn't taste that great, but this is not that great, to be honest with you. I've not been mega impressed with these beers.
Really?
From No Heroes. I know Beer Dog was really impressed with them, but I think they're all a bit meh. I had that with Mad Squirrel as well. They had a couple that were really good, and the rest were crap. Whereas I think there's only 2 of yours that I don't like. One's that Logjam and one's the other washing up liquid beer. Yeah. But other than that, I think Malamute's up there. It's tied with Mount Helix at the minute, I think.
You're right there, Thomas.
The camera is just changing them like the whole time.
Thomas, what's your favourite beer? If you could only drink one beer for the rest of your life, what would it be?
O'Hara Stout.
Interesting. I
Nice.
thought you'd have gone for something really out there.
No. Something normal, 6%, nice stout.
6%.
Yeah.
What
6%.
do you think, man?
That's
I'll
why
be
you
on
don't
me.
need to drink.
All right.
This is 6, but it looks like. I said
was
this
that?
with a lot of beers for some reason. They all look and taste a bit like Lilt recently. Sort of a lot of the sort of fruity, sort of hazy IPAs have got a very sort of tropically sort of taste to them. I don't think I don't even remember Lilt back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it not a thing anymore?
A lot
You
of
what,
shit.
sorry?
Is Lilt not a thing anymore? Is it not out there?
I don't think so. I've not seen Lilt for years.
No, I haven't seen Lil. What happened to Lil?
I don't even know who owned Lilt. Let's have a look.
There's a documentary. there.
Fanta owned it.
What happened to Lilt?
I
Apparently-
totally have a Lil over a Tango.
Apparently it was owned by Coca-Cola, but they stopped producing it in 2014. So,
Wow.
but it's one of them where I always just remember like it was the cheap pop. It was like roller cola and Lilt that your mum would get in. You didn't get proper cola, you get roller cola and Lilt. Yeah,
Oh, that's true.
it's like I want proper cola. Mum. No, you can have this stuff. It's 50p for like 6 litres, but it tastes like shit, mum. But it's cheap.
It's cheap.
Yeah.
It's cheap.
And when your friends come round, you can all drink it, and there's loads to go around. They don't want to drink that shit, mum. They've got proper coke at their house. Yeah. Stan's mum buys in proper pop. Stan's the only child, though. I'm good for Stan. I'll move to Stan's house if he gets proper pop.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. See, now my parents, they weren't bad off, but my mum would buy the most flipping cheapest stuff, and if
Yeah.
I ever said that I liked something, you got it for the next 4 years,
I don't.
back to back.
But make sure make sure there's nobody lurking in the kitchen. She's done that today. She can go into rather than doing a big shop, she'll go to bloody Farm Foods because it's cheap. She'll buy a lot of old shit, chuck it in the freezer, and then she'll go to bloody Aldi at Lidl next door. She'll go around all shops. She'll go to bloody old Morgan's. It's fine, whatever. That's 10p cheaper. That 3 miles away on, don't matter. 10p cheaper. So, but it costs you that in fuel. 10p cheaper. That. Don't count your chickens. Yes, mum. Sorry.
Okay.
I didn't mean it. I'm sorry.
What the hell does "don't count your chickens" mean? I mean, I don't get that.
Who knows? It's just a northern thing, and it's like
Because chickens were expensive.
chicken.
and then-
Life's cheap when you're a chicken. We used to have chickens at Foxhead, and we bought some more next day. We're all right. We had
So
this
what's that, Thomas? Chickens were expensive.
Chickens were expensive back in the day, and so
okay, back
you're
in the
rich to
day,
get
yeah.
lots of chickens and don't count them because they'll, if you don't have a lot,
Mm.
something like that. I think that's
Ah.
what my only
Yeah.
logic.
Ah.
Josh Edwards. Yes, I did. It came the other week. They're
Okay,
all right. I think they've gone a bit.
comment on the screen there. What do you think?
Beer Hut. I've never even heard of Beer Hut. I've heard of Mix Up.
They're out in Northern Ireland. No, they don't
Look,
put the
maybe you
menu.
do get them. Beer Hut UK, maybe. You
No.
might get them in the UK somewhere.
Well, they're in the UK, so be careful.
I'm thinking like maybe
Right.
like Beer Hawk or somewhere is what I'm thinking. So something like that. Like they seem to do it.
I put Beer Hut and it's got a picture of some
They
bloke.
brought like sheds up for me. Yeah. Is that a shop? I assume, or like is it a brewery?
a brewery,
Yeah.
County down.
Easy for me to say. Huh? Beer Hut
Type it in Taps, you should get it.
Brewing. Oh, here we
Oh,
go.
yeah,
I can
okay,
get
yeah.
some from. Oh, okay. You can get it on the.
Okay,
place
I'll
called
be back in a second, okay?
Some more
Okay.
wines. KMW wines. 45 quid for
I need a wee sim. I'll see you later.
10
You're-
cans for 45 quid. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. 10 cans for 45 quid. What do they do though? Ooh, sours. Sour beers. I don't know how people can drink sour beers. I just don't get them. Maybe you lot like them. I don't know. They don't do it for me, sour beers at all. I've had a few sours and they just do not float my fucking boat at all. I just can't take to them. I've had probably about 10 different sours and I just can't take to them. However, I've heard, is it Vault City? Supposedly they do some pretty good sours. Like, they're something that I need to check out at some point, but...
I am terrible with sours. I'm sorry.
Oh, don't worry about it, Tom. You're like fairly fucking caught up, aren't you?
Yeah, but I've just clicked on a load of comments and I haven't said anything. Sorry to all the people that commented.
Thomas, what's your take on sours?
I like
him,
sour.
I can't get on with him. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just not a good sours. Maybe I'm a cheap, shitty sours. But I cannot get on with him to save my life. I've had 2 or 3 from Brewdog. I've had a couple from Morrison. I think I've had Siren. They do a sour. Oh, John, don't. It's horrible. I've got one in fridge. I bought a pack of 4. You mute, you think, John?
No, thanks. Brewdog are just kind of avoid now. They're just too expensive over here now, especially any of it. I bet you that's probably about €5 here.
So,
If he's muted him again, he's just muted himself. John, you need to click the button.
flipping it, man. That's the 3rd time I've pressed that. So so the story behind this, my little boy likes the taste of beer rather than pop. But I don't want him drinking alcoholic beer because having a leathered child is illegal. So my wife buys him, like, he likes to try, he wants to be like Daddy, he wants to try the different beers. So she came back and bought this for him and he was all like, "Oh, what's that, Dad?" I said, "Oh, it's a hoppy, non-alcoholic beer." And he was like, "Oh, right, okay." And he had a bit, and he didn't really take to it. And he drank it. He finished it off. And I said, "What do you think of that?" He's like, "That is terrible, Daddy." I was like, "Really?" He goes, "That is awful." And I was like, "It can't be that bad. Is it just too hoppy?" He's like, "Daddy, try it. It's awful." So,
in fairness, that's the only non-alcoholic beer I tried, and it was vile. I chucked it away.
I'm going to give it a go.
What's your take on sours, John? I was saying to Thomas, I just can't get on with them at all. They don't do anything for me.
I've tried. I've had a Gers recently, and I had a Lambic, and I kind of went through them. And the Gers, Lambic's just too much for me, but the Gers, actually, I quite enjoyed it by the end. Right, here we go.
It
Doesn't look too bad.
It looks all right, to be fair. Looks like a beer. Yeah.
Smell. What the hell smell is that? Smells like soap.
Does it smell like Sunset Cocoa?
Far worse than that.
Far worse than that.
And just so everybody knows, there's no flipping washing up liquid in that. And it is completely 100% natural orange in it.
Orange soap.
Now, after a bit of sniffing, you swine. It's quite floral. It's sweet smelling. Right, let me give it a go. Lovely.
It's really watery as well, which just doesn't help it at all.
Oh, God, Lord. Right, okay, I know I can't drink that.
I'll tell you what's worse, though. By all accounts, the Doom Bar, alcoholic free, is equally as terrible.
You know what it is? It's not that bad. It's the choice of hops that they've used. It's really floral and really soapy. It's got, for me, my taste, but it might be because I've just had that. So I just get loads of soap. It's really loud. So compared to what I said to him, it's really hoppy. Yeah. And he was like, "Yeah, but it's not nice hops." That's what. That's crazy, isn't it? A 7-year-old.
You're telling us your son, John. That's it.
He's like,
he knows his stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, it's not good.
He knows his stuff.
No, he's right. He's on the money. He's thin, but
Yeah.
he likes the. I tell you what, he does like. He drinks the Bravia one, the Holland Bravia. Is it Holland?
I got some for my granddad for Christmas Day because my granddad sets off like a train and then it becomes very sweary, loud and aggressive. So I started swapping his beers, but halfway through with him, I had no idea. She went, that's great, that's lovely. They must have drunk about 6 then, so they must be all right.
Yeah, well, it's not too bad. I mean, it's not great, but he likes it. He's like, it looks like what I drink, and it's not. It's like he's like, it's quite wheaty, Daddy, and it is. It tastes like grain.
Have you tried? Apparently, the Copperberg non-alcoholic cider is really nice. It's very similar to fizzy juice, apparently, but
I was going to say, isn't that just juice?
I mean, Copperberg's just juice, isn't it? Really. They don't do it for ciders again. There's another one. They do not for me.
Right. So this beer, this Siren one, now that it's been sat in the glass just
some taste to it.
Stinks of maple syrup now.
I thought you said there's some taste to it.
No. It's I don't mind that. I know Scott just said he wasn't that impressed with it, but actually, like, he couldn't get any maple syrup. Now it's been in the glass for a while, and the glass is all coated in it. You can really smell it.
I've not had many Siren beers. I've had probably 4 or 5, and they've all been very average.
I've had 1 or 2. I think they've been okay.
None of them were particularly memorable. That I go, you need to try that beer.
Oh gosh!
Don't this Gothenburg. Wonder will hunt you down. Yeah. That's a good question, John, there that Josh Edwards asked. What's planned for the next box?
What's planned for the next box? So we were talking about that today, actually. So we've got a new beer that should be ready, which is Silver Spur. So what we were thinking of doing was putting 2 Silver Spurs in instead of Sunset and Logjam. Because if you've got a new beer, you don't want one of them, do you? You want a couple at least.
I've had Silver Spur in a bottle. In fact, I was looking at Untapped the other day. I think about almost every one of your beers in a bottle. I had the bitter was really nice.
Shows them out
pretty highly, and then I had the Silver Spur, and I gave that to. I shared it with my mother's fella, and he said that's amazing because he doesn't like Craffy's lager, and he said that's lovely that. So I proceeded to give him various other beers and got him very drunk. It was a great night.
Silver Spur was an accident as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How so?
We were trying to brew Saltersgate Wraith. And we tried. So we went to a beer expo, and our brewers got talking with another brewer, and they was like, "Oh, do you use that malt? Oh no, you don't want to use that. What you want to use is this." So he told them what to use. So they ordered that. They did it in the same quantity because the figures were about the same. Flipping heck, it was so strong and so pale. It was nothing like the beer that we were supposed to be making. And they were like, John, we've got a bit of a problem. This beer, you need to come up to the brewery and have a look at it. I was like, oh no. And I'm thinking, we've poured beers before. If we're not happy with them, they'll just go straight down the drain. So went up there, had a look, and I said, well, it looks great. What's wrong with it? And they were like, it's way too strong. So it originally come back. It was like knocking on for 5.5%. And this is really pale. And if we liquor it back a little bit, it's going to be even paler. Yeah. And I was like, do it. Let's do it. And then let's dry it. Just do it. And let's dry hop it. What have we got in the hops in stock? Yeah. So we had a look, and we had all sorts of stuff. We always have bits of stuff left over. So we dry hopped it. And then it's just banging. It's a proper Frankenstein beer, but it turned into our second bestseller.
What was the first beer that you ever made then? When you got Lords and it was on the ground, what was the first beer you were like, that's what we're going to make? That is the...
Yeah, what was the first? We brought out Expedition Pale Ale, and we couldn't sell it. Nobody buy it because Pale Ale in Yorkshire, just they weren't ready for it. So we rebranded that as Expedition Blonde, and that was our bestseller. Still is our bestseller. We sold loads of it. We had Interceptor Strong Ale, which was 5.7.
Strong ale, okay.
Yeah, just a real. I mean, it's like a really old recipe. Keep threatening it. We'll do it for Christmas. It's just
We should get on it again. Sort of.
It's just brown and.
That'd make a cracking box, wouldn't it? Like, sort of Lords Original Brews or something like that. The first brew is sort of. Hang on, the dog wants to go out. What's Stinky?
Stinky, that's an unfortunate name for a dog.
It's not even called Stinky, it's called Sam, but it stinks. You know what's right? Because the other one's outside the door. Lemmy's crying outside the door because he can hear me talking here. So Sam's now gone out.
Yeah, so we did. We had that one. Then we had Tithe House Bitter, which was a 3.8 or 3.9. And good bitter, but couldn't really sell. It just didn't really sell that well. And then we had. I'm trying to think what the other one. We had Mount Helix. Was that was probably not one of the first, but it was near the first. I'm trying to think what else we had in the range back then. I'm gonna have to look at my website to remind myself. It seems so long ago. I tell you what, we could do. We've got some of the old original pump clips, really old ones. We should, because they're just sat on the shelf doing that. We'll have to maybe we put a few of them in the box this time.
That could be shot. You could auction them off, maybe. I bet somebody would be interested.
I've seen on some eBay, I looked at eBay and I could see there was beer mats of Lords Brewery going for €1.50, was it? €2? It was. I was looking to I looked for glasses and that's how it came up. See which were the glass and the.
That's funny. There's one particular person that's known throughout the. Oh, look at that! Pump clip for sale. Wow, look at that.
There you go.
They're a collectible, they're a collector's item, aren't they? People for pub sheds and stuff who want
original beer mats, want original labels and everything.
I mean, a few Facebook groups, there's people gone mad for like clips and signs and stuff like that. Like they go mad for them because
£2.
All this like pub shed lark, everything that's going on.
Hey, look, there's an Interceptor Strong Ale pump clip on there. $3.99. Rare Lords Brewery beer pump clip. Wow, that is rare. That is super rare. I feel like I should bid on it.
For £2 worth of Pontoneers.
I know. I've got a whole blooming shelf full of them. They were really small as well. So when we made them, I might even have one back here.
Look at John's lovely pants there.
These are Cookie Monster. No, I don't. I don't have one. No. I thought I had an old one, but I don't. Yeah, they were really small. They were about the size of a beer mat. And they progressively got bigger and bigger. I'm amazed that people are selling our stuff. I saw the old... look, there's a beer mat as well. £1.29 used.
It's still good quality beer, though. It's not full of fucking adjuncts and shit. It's just good quality beer. So, you get what it says on the tin, pretty much. Like the Roy, the Malum, I think everything bar, like... Even Log Jam, it wasn't terrible, it was just different. It was something that sort of... I think Beer Dog loved it. It was his beer of the year, wasn't it? Chris, the Beer Dog, he said it's the best thing he's ever tasted since sliced bread. I was like, all right, mate.
I'm quite flattered that people are selling our stuff on eBay. I love it. I think, why not? I know one guy was doing it. He goes around all the breweries trying to get free stuff and he drives them free crackers. He's not a bad guy, actually, but He just doesn't know when to stop, and you feel like you're doing him a favour by giving him stuff, and then you find out a few weeks later it's got on stuff in eBay. Like,
You don't mind if it's collector, but
There's a question
would
for
you
you,
get much?
Thomas.
Would you
Do you
want
enjoy doing your YouTube?
you what, Thomas?
Would you get much requests for like labels or from people collecting or?
All the time. Although I will say, in lockdown, it's been a bit less, but normally, and it's frustrating because they don't understand. If you're a collector and you're watching, I love the fact that you collect stuff like this. It's great if that's your hobby, but there's a few things you need to understand. One, it doesn't support us. So you taking free stuff or asking for free stuff costs me money. So one, that's not going to a customer that needs the beer mat or the pump clip. The second thing is, even if you send me a stamped addressed envelope, I have then got to fill it and take the time to go to a post box and deliver it. So that's time it costs me. As I've said before to a lot of collectors, if you want to collect our stuff, go to a pub that sells our beer and flipping buy some. And then you can take whatever you like. I don't mind. Come to the brewery, take a glass. I don't mind. I mean, our glasses get stolen on a rate that is just off the chart.
I need to find somebody who stole one then, because I need one. Yeah.
Yeah, they nick them all the time. I don't mind. I don't mind you nicking my glass.
Yeah.
Because
you have a night out in the tap room, whatever, and then it's.
Oh man, these ones just like.
I just rub it in, yeah.
Yeah, like literally, there was a lady that went, she left, and I looked at her bag and I said, "Excuse me, love." She had 6 in her bag. I was like, "No, you're not having a full set. You can have one, but give me the other 5 back." And then she was like, "Okay, there you go." She gave him back, and then as she went to the top of the lane to the taxi, she waved another glass. I was like, "Where the chuff is she in that?"
John, have you ever thought about bringing some of your cask beer into bottles or cans?
Well, we have done. Yeah, we have.
Like, I'm looking at you've got there's a Saison, there's the, what is it now? The Wraith, I don't know what that's, the Hoppy Session Ale. There's the Deltic and the mild, can't be a good mild. Like Michael does the old, is it Theakston mild that you get? That's sort of about as much as...
Any of those, apart from Stray Meadowlark, Fell Runner, I think I might have sold out of Fell Runner. Salters Gate Wraith, Deltic, and Midnight Ramble, you can buy in mini kegs.
Oh, that could be dangerous.
Yeah. But they're all... So, how these beers came about, so those beers... so, for those watching, if you haven't looked, if you go onto our website, lordsbrewing.com, they're under the craft range. They're technically not really very craft. What they are is what we have a lot of wholesalers that we deal with, and they're always wanting low prices, but they want the best beer. Now, what we did is we looked at what our competitors were making for the same money and thought we could do that a bit better. So what we did is we produced a whole bunch of sub 4% because they're always asking, it's got to be 4% or less, 4% or less. So basically what we did was we produced a load of beers, sub 4, and made really cool pump clips. Now, none of the beers are bad at all. There's nothing wrong with any of them, and we don't cut corners on them, but they're fairly easy for us to produce. They're all very easy recipes, and they can be made quite quickly. So in the time saving of the beer and the fact that we can get them out quick, we can stack them high. And then because the pump clips are really good quality, you can't see there, but they're all like this one here. They're not cardboard. They're like proper plastic almost, but they've also got texture on them. So I don't know if you can see on this one. It's got the crown here is raised. The sun there is raised. This is raised. And all the bits in orange, basically.
So they cost a fair few bob then? They're not just like cheap sort of...
No, these cost us about £1.5 each. So the wholesalers, when they go out to the pubs and they've got a really good design on them,
Yeah.
they like it, and it'll say, this is what sells the beer. Not seeing somebody else's beer, not anything else. They want to walk in, they want something that they can pronounce,
Yeah.
and they want to know what it is. So if you see on all of ours, it always has a proper description, and then we stick a basic tasting note at the bottom. So this one says, dark and luxurious, cocoa, orange zest, and vanilla. But
It always reminds me of Robbie's. They got the Dizzy Blonde, and there's always the thin sort of red dressed blonde haired lady on the clip, and then sort of behind there's usually a big cardboard cutout. It's like sort of, I guess it sells beer, doesn't it? People go, good looking lady, I like that beer. It's
yeah. You've got to put a description on. It's like we learned something. I asked loads of places when we first started. So what is it that makes a beer or a drink sell? And the best selling wine in the UK is Shiraz. Now the reason why it's the best seller is because people can pronounce it and it sounds exotic. And that's what we're seeing here. So in Yorkshire, pale ale, blonde, oh yeah. Oh yeah, lad, I only drink me blondes. I only drink blondes. I know me blondes, right,
I had 3 blondes last night.
But that's what it's like. They think, because they drink a blonde, they know what a blonde, well, they think they know what a blonde is, then they'll go to the bar. It doesn't matter what, it could be called Dick Turpin's orange juice, blonde. If it says blonde on it, they'll buy it.
Yeah.
In London, blondes won't sell. We'll sell it as pale ale.
Wow.
Yeah, blondes don't sell over here.
2 seconds. I really need a wee.
You what? Sorry, Thomas.
Blondes don't sell over in Ireland. Oh, you wouldn't see them. I guess to class them as, they just call them pale ales or something like. If it's a blonde, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. It's totally that. And then now the latest thing is, what have you got that's IPA? I love IPAs, me. Oh, I love IPAs. And now, like with all the breweries, everybody's cotton on to this. So everything that we produce says IPA on it. It's like such a wide band of flavors within the 3 letters.
I've got a lot of IPAs, and they're more pale ale. Basically, pale ales, I'd say.
Yeah. It is. It's just marketing and what people like, and give them what they want. If you can get over that hurdle, that first hurdle of getting them to try it, 9 times out of 10 they like it.
Yeah. Or they'll try another beer. They mightn't 100% like it, but they'll try something other in that brewery's range, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. The other thing is, if it's got something in it like coffee or fruit or whatever, tell people what's in it right at the beginning. Don't wait until they've bought it and then they're looking, this has got coriander in it or something like that. You want it to be really obvious straight away, so that they know what they're buying. True. Simo sounds like he's wrestling with the dog.
Probably is.
Oh gosh, I am so knackered. Honestly, shattered. Feeling old. Sorry, I couldn't do Monday. By the way,
No.
I was just done. I was absolutely done on Monday.
Here he is.
Oh Christ! What for? Sorry, I've run over the bloody headset. Why? There we go.
I thought you were wrestling a dog or something.
No, I've one last beer for the night.
Stouty McStout face. That's awesome.
It's only 4.7%. It's an Irish stout. Apparently, we'll see what we make of that, shall we?
Nice. See, I think that's another one. An Irish stout. What defines an Irish stout? Why is it Irish? Why is it not like a French stout?
I think an Irish stout is meant to be more dry and it's lower ABV, isn't it?
Who knows? It just says a full black beer with coffee-like roasted barley, derived from the addition of chocolate and black malts, bittered with target and goldings, providing a sweet honey aroma and flavour.
Nice.
Which means it would probably just taste like a stout. It's only 4.7%, so it's nothing amazing. It's,
So, Thomas,
it's nice.
I've got a question for you, Thomas. Did you know what the Bandon Car Porter? Did you know, is the Bandon Car a relatively famous song in Ireland or not really?
It would be. Some people would know it, yeah.
Because no one gets it here. No one flipping gets it. And a clue. It gets called the Brandon Car, the abandoned car.
Abandoned cars are that I've heard the most, yeah. That abandoned car beer. It's like, okay.
It's like, yeah.
Ooh.
What's it like, Simo?
It smells really like chocolate in coffee. That's what I'm getting to, like, real. It smells nice. So.
I'm powering through the nanny estate here.
Oops.
Is that good?
That's nice, actually. It's dry. It's mainly just chocolate that I'm getting from it, to be honest. Sort of, and a little bit of coffee, but that's it. It's nice. It's for 4.7%. It's a banging. It's at least it tastes of something. It's not even watery either. I thought it'd be a bit like watery, but it's alright. It's nice. It's just chocolate, coffee, and sort of medium body. It's nice, that.
Sounds good. Stout face. Thumbs up.
You can stay. Crafted in Preston.
Preston.
To be fair, most of the beers all have some sort of weird can arts in them. They're all sort of a bit funky. I guess it sells. Be able to sell the beer. I don't know.
I'll let you know after the Bandit one.
But I'd never heard of him until about 15 months ago. And I got a thing through saying, they used to be like out of the sort of garage almost, and they moved into a little place. And they're that popular, they ended up renting in a unit down at the industrial estate. And since lockdown, they've basically sort of gone, because they started doing deliveries, they had this thing called the beer ambulance, which was a really cool idea. And then some horrible, nasty bastard stole it and fucking crashed it and set fire to it.
No.
Yeah. So they said, look, we're really sorry, guys, but we've had to cut back slightly because somebody stole it. So sort of they still delivering that like local within about 15 miles, I think it is, for free, and then it's like £6 for like local delivery or something. But
not too bad.
They do some good beers. I can't really argue. Some are not great, but most of them have had most of them are sub 5%, sort of 5 or lower. So they're all good beers. Can't really argue. They're a bit gimmicky, some of them, but.
We tried to be not gimmicky. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Thomas, going back to USPs, trying not to be gimmicky we don't do puns. You know, like, I'm not saying who, but another brewery that's quite popular, Puntastic. We're like, no puns.
I don't think it shows in the camera. It's jet black. That it's really like there's no coming through that. For 4.7%, it's.
Well, that's a stout. You shouldn't be able to see through a stout.
No.
You'd be amazed how many stouts you've bought, and you go, what the fucking. I can see right there. So.
Did you have that Roosters one with salted caramel?
Maybe. Is it Morrison's thing? Is it?
Yeah, that is one of the worst beers.
Yeah, I've had some shockers.
So thin. How's that even porter?
I know a lot of people don't like him, but Brewdog, I think the one thing they do right at the minute is the darker beers. all the other beers are crap, but the dark beers are all right. Well, at least I've had Jet Black Heart. That's all right. Where you pour it like a bit like that when you had where you just go just dump it in a glass. That's all right. And the coffee one, roaster coaster. That's all right. And that's about it. But I think Paul was saying the other day. It might have even been last weekend. He said if Scotland went independent and that was it, and you couldn't get Brewdog anymore, it's not the end of the world. Oh well, no big loss. Because they're just crap. Stick with Lords, get the banding car.
Indeed.
How about as a porter? I don't know though. It's like a stout. It's a beast of a beer, that.
Josh Edwards has just asked, how's Ban 1 coming along? Ban 1 is brewed now. It's fermenting out. We're just going to see where it plops itself at. It's heading up to, I think it was getting towards 6% and it started slowing down a bit. So it's a different yeast we used on this one as well. So it'd be interesting. It's an all new beer. It's all new. So it's going to be dry hopped as well. So we'll see. It's going to be good. It's got a bit. It's got a Trans Am on it. What more could you possibly want?
Were you saying, John, not so long ago, that all these breweries you're advertising were double dry hops and all this, and you went, most of ours are dry hops, and we don't fucking shout about it. We just say, yeah, it's a good beer. There you go. Yeah, we don't go, this is amazing. We've done this. Just this is our beer. Drink it, and if you don't like it, then but if you like it, yeah.
Well, some people were claiming stuff as double dry hopped, and I was like, what do you mean? And then when they asked, I was like, well, that's how you do it anyway. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, but technically it's double. I was like, that is a flipping load of old balls. If that's what you are doing, that ain't right. And then they did the double. Some people are double dry hopping, so they'll dry hop it, and then after a week or two, they'll add some more hops, and that's double dry hopped. Some people, they're counting the hops when you put it into the kettle as one, and then dry hopping it as two. So then they're saying, it's double dry hop.
Well, not because the hops in the boil are not dry because.
Exactly, but I'm not saying who it is. I'm not. And then the other one was double fermented bottles. Double fermented.
Yeah.
So the yeast in the bottles.
Yeah, that's just how we do it anyway. When we do bottles, we'll nearly always put a little bit of yeast in it, and maybe depends on the beer. Might put priming sugar on, but normally we don't. We. I remember we experimented once. Oh my gosh, it's so embarrassing that we're telling this story. We experimented with using priming sugar to try and speed up them to get ready faster in the bottles. Nothing to do with casks. I've never put priming sugar in a cask. Anyway, the first bottle that we opened hit the ceiling in the brewery. It was like it was like that. Boosh!
Oh shit!
That might not have worked. Right, let's get another one. Boosh! And we're like, okay, that lot's all garbage. Let's not do that again. So yeah, our beer. Yeah, we might put. It depends. So Mike will do a yeast count normally, and check where everything's at, and then we'll do it to suit. But that, in the bottles. Essentially, it is double fermented, but we don't say anything about it.
But do you think Ban 1 will be ready then, John? Sort of in a few weeks.
So it was made last week. In fact, I can look at our computer system here. See what's in what tank. Let's have a butcher's production.
I think we finish up in about 5 minutes, yeah? If everything's okay.
Sounds good, mate.
Yeah, no worries, man. So, Ban 1, 1 week. I'm sorry. It says here, Ban 1, tank is 96% full. Ban 1 has done for 1 week and 2 days, so it will need another 2 weeks, and then it needs to go and be sent for canning. So it's going to be next month.
How is your canning line, or is it pull it along?
The canning line is a definite thing. It's just I've got to finish the business plan to release the funding. So we're not in a mad rush, but it would be nice to have it.
Is it possible to get a can-done date with the expiry date?
Would you what? Sorry.
The can, you see it in the American ones, beer is canned on.
Oh, what? And then you write it in?
Yeah, no, you don't write it in. It's stamped on it like the expiry date, so you know if it's a IPA or pale ale that it's 6 months or it's 9 months old.
All our cans have got dates on them.
Yeah, but canned on it. It's not.
I can see this one. It was made on the 21st of July last year. Yeah, 21/07/20, and then best before the end of March this year. So we're about in date. So
yeah. Well, we have to put that on them. Yeah. So it's either part of the machine does it, or you buy the cans with it already done on it.
There you go. This shot it, Thomas. This one. Just fucking buy right.
Yeah, most of them don't have the canned on date here. Yeah.
Roy says born on the 7th of the 12th 20, and best before the 7th of the 6th 22. So it's got fucking loads of it in it. I've also got a great old armour fucking sleeve. Yeah. Yeah.
So the Silver Spurs should be definitely done in the next 2 weeks. Well, it goes for canning on the 15th, I think. And it'll be back with us within 6 days.
Western Beer Review, yeah, we're still living. I think most people have disappeared now. I think it's getting on a bit for a weeknight, but we're just
9:30, man, on a Wednesday night.
Thursday.
Thursday. I've lost the date.
Don't be taking days away from me.
Oh, man.
Okay, here, I think I end the live stream part of it. And
6,500 steps today.
Thanks for everyone who's watched. If there's anyone still watching, thanks for all the comments. And if I do this again, yeah.
You've got to do it again. You got to do it again, Thomas.
I appreciate all the support, Thomas. I think Thomas is subscribing to about 15 different accounts, so I can't fault him. He's a top bloke. So
yeah, it's